What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the End Zone podcast. I'm here back again with Ben, and let's get right into it.
So, busy week around the NFL and NBA this week. Let's start off with the big news coming out of the NFL today. Geno Smith is now a Raider. He was traded for a 2025 third round pick. Some other things with the Seahawks. Obviously, DK has requested trade. They released Tyler
Yep.
Lockett and among some other players. Any initial reactions from this all, Donnie?
When I first saw this, I thought that, seeing that the Raiders gave away a third round pick, what is it this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, this year. I thought that was actually kind of high because I feel like Geno Smith's value. Yeah, he was like a top five passer. He was like leading this season all time passing yards, but I feel like whenever I watch him, I don't see anything special about him really, and I just feel like the Seahawks absolutely like snub the Raiders, and I think a third round pick is like way too much to be giving up.
I'm gonna actually have to disagree with that.
Okay.
I do agree. He obviously did not look good this year, and I'm not saying he's a top 10 quarterback by any means. But you saw in the 2 years with Pete Carroll when he did have a better offensive line, and better coaching, in my opinion, that he was really good. Like he was really good up until this past year. And I think if he can return to that form, like Jacoby Myers, he has Brock Bowers. Like the weapons are solid. They need a running back and some other things, but the O line's gonna be better already. Like I feel like it's almost a better situation for Geno to come in because of the pocket, and worst case he can always dump it down to Bowers.
Well, yeah, but like to be fair, when Gino was with Pete Carroll, I think like they went like 9-8, and that's just like it's not super impressive.
Yeah, but
And
if you look at the stats, the stats were way better. I want to
yeah,
say it was like 17 and 14 this year, and it was like 25 and 7 or 8
yeah,
last
but
year.
like, you could also argue that like Gino has like so many weapons around him because he had DK, he had Tyler Lockett before he was declining, and then like this year he had JSN. You could argue a lot of different things about how many like weapons the offense has.
Yeah, and he's going to an offense with Brock Bowers, so he has that. But then after him and Jacoby Myers, you're not really looking at anyone else and being like, okay,
Yeah,
that's a really good piece. Obviously, they have a top six, top four. I forgot where they're
yeah,
selected, maybe six. But they have a high pick. They can draft a wide receiver with that pick now. They don't have to focus on a QB. They can focus on defense. But Tom Brady, the new and all the new ownership, they're gonna be aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another move to go
yeah,
trade for a wide receiver. Um, but yeah, I think this is a good move for the Raiders, and I don't think it's much to lose because
yeah,
Geno's only under contract for another 2 more years.
yeah. I completely agree.
The other news, obviously, DK requested a trade, and Tyler Lockett's been released. Kind of an end to an era, especially with Geno leaving as well.
Yeah. I feel like DK Metcalf he's been kind of underwhelming this past year. He hasn't been producing like most people expected him he would. Mainly due to injuries, but also because like JSN, he's been like stealing the show. He's been like an up and coming wide receiver, and having like his breakout sophomore season. And I just feel like it was the right move, especially for like to release Tyler Lockett, because even though he's a legend, in the long run, you got to focus on your future. And then the Seahawks are rebuilding right now, and I feel like Tyler Lockett isn't the person you need to be keeping on your team, especially if you want to keep rebuilding. And with JSN there, they like the Seahawks shouldn't be too worried at wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that because right now their wide receivers two is Jake Bobo, and
Yeah, that's
no
true.
defense, no hard
Bobo.
feelings to him, but he's not a wide receiver two in the league.
Yeah.
JSN's great and all, but you're gonna need to draft or sign a wide receiver to complement JSN,
No, yeah, they're
unless
definitely
you just
doing
want to
that.
go full tank mode, start Sam Howell, see how he does, and just like see what happens and like tank for Arch Manning. Like I could see that happening because this quarterback class is so weak. And the
Yeah.
free agent market. We'll talk about it later when we talk about our top 10 free agents and their destinations. But I don't know if there's a perfect fit in Seattle as far as that goes.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see if the Seahawks are wanting to like keep going. I could see them definitely drafting a wide receiver if there's like a good one left in the second round. Maybe like sign like a wide receiver three, or maybe like a
Like
mild
a
wide
Darius
receiver
Slade.
two.
Yeah, that would,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
would fit.
yeah. Yeah, that would definitely fit them.
Yeah, and like just someone who can complement JSN. Like I feel like DK and JSN were both great players, but they kind of like they didn't complement each other great, and I feel like someone that can be more of a like a downfield threat, and instead of just like a super physical guy. Obviously DK can be a downfield threat, but he kind of played. like he was almost like took away from what JSN could have done. And I
Yeah.
think with more volume and a different quarterback, I think JSN can be much better.
Yeah, I mean, also like to be fair, DK hasn't left the team yet. He's just requested a trade. And, like we've seen in history, I mean, I can't think of one for the NFL at the top of my head, but like we saw earlier this season, like Giannis or Dame wanted to like get out of Milwaukee because they were like struggling,
Mhm.
but then we saw that of course they didn't want to anymore. And like of course requesting a trade, you're not always going to be guaranteed to be traded, especially if the team doesn't want to. Like remember Jonathan Taylor,
Yep,
he was requesting to be traded, but oh yeah, that's yeah, he
I
but he
forgot about
never
that one.
got
Yeah,
one. Mm-hmm. So I mean it's never guaranteed. So like I mean we still should keep in mind that DK hasn't left the team yet and it's not like 100% certain that he will, especially like for how much he's going to be worth and I don't know how much aggressive the Seahawks want to be like gaining.
yeah, and the you saw the mock trade they turned down of Geno and DK for Max
Yeah.
Crosby. I feel like with that being said, with Geno technically being worth a third rounder or whatever you want to say, and then wanting a first and a third, I feel like that a first, a third, and a third, I would take Max Crosby over that all day.
Yeah, I would
Um,
too.
and speaking of other defensive linemen, there's been news of Myles Garrett and Trey Hendrickson have both requested trades. Myles
Yep.
Garrett's been told he will not be traded, but then he'll say that he will sit out games. I mean, I think it's inevitable that he will be traded.
Yeah.
The Commanders still make so much sense. I don't need to, you know, talk too much on that, but obviously we need an edge, and we have the draft capital and the money to do so and extend him. So I think it makes sense for that. But yeah,
Yeah. I could definitely see him going to like maybe the Lions and definitely the Commanders. I feel like Lions and Commanders are definitely the top teams I could definitely trade for him. And I mean, I just want him out of the division. I never want to see Miles Garrett face again. I hate that man.
yeah, you got
I don't
him
want
and
to
Trey Hendrickson out of the
I don't
division.
want to ever see him
Yeah,
again. I hate that. After what he did to Mason Rudolph, I don't want to ever see Miles Garrett ever again.
Mason Rudolph, the goat.
Hmm.
Going back to the NBA, some sadder news. In this week, Kyrie Irving tore his ACL. He's out for the season. Kind of just sums up the Mavs season in total. Obviously, trading Luca, AD gets injured. Kyrie now, and it's just kind of spiraling out of control.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really just sad. I mean, the Mavericks. I mean, it's not. I mean, obviously the injury's out of your control, but I feel like after the Mavericks, traded away Luca, everything's been going downhill.
Yeah, and I
And
feel like I'm not even that high on Luca, and I actually don't.
yeah,
I'm not even. I've kind of grown to accept that why the Mavericks done it. Like Luca on the Lakers has looked like super slow and just like he
yeah,
looks 35, but he's 25. Like I
yeah.
do totally understand why they traded him. Obviously, it's hard to trade your star, and I still wouldn't do it if I was the Mavs, but I do understand where they're coming from. It just sucks that you have all these injuries and you can't do anything to stop them because you just have an injured team and you got to get lucky at sometimes. And they just really got really unlucky to the
Well,
point
what?
where Kyrie or Clay
Yeah,
Thompson's their number one option.
yeah. I mean, what I think is also just like, I mean, if we're going back to that trade, that big blockbuster trade, I think it's just stupid of like, if the Mavericks want like trading for someone like AD, who they know is always injury prone, and I just feel like it's kind of dumb what they did, and I feel like it's definitely a part. It's definitely bad, like evaluating the trade because we always know AD. He ever since 2020, he's been like injury prone. He's never been able to play like a full like healthy season. And I just feel like, yeah, the Mavericks are not good, especially since next season, probably that like Kyrie and AD, they're getting up there in age. So they're definitely going to be declining. And their win now situation is getting slimmer and slimmer.
Yeah, I mean it's a win now scenario, and I want to say they're the 10 seed right now. Like it's just
Yeah.
not this year is a lost cause at this point. With AD is going to be out for even more time. Lively, Gafford, Irving
Yeah.
now, obviously. Like this season's a wash. Next season is going to basically be your last chance. Kyrie Irving can technically opt out of his contract. He has a $40 million player option. He'd probably get about that in the open market, maybe a little bit less. But I mean, hey, if the Mavs locker room's like super toxic and like he wants out, he could be a free agent, and the Mavs would be in shambles at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think that the Mavericks definitely need to win now, especially because I mean Kyrie ever since he left I mean even when he left the Celtics, when he was on the Nets, you could already see like his production is starting to decline already.
Yeah, and he was really good before tearing his ACL. He was just playing so many minutes, and just
Yeah.
he was asked to do too much at that point.
And I feel like the Mavs didn't even need to make a trade because they were like the fifth seed before they
Mhm.
were trade, like before they made the trade.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it made no sense at that point, and it
Yeah.
still doesn't make a ton of sense. But it's just unlucky, and it just like I feel bad for Nico Harrison to the point because it went in the total opposite direction of what it could have.
Yeah.
Like Luka could look horrible on the Lakers, and it still wouldn't matter because AD's played half a game. Max
Yeah.
Christie's been pretty good, and they have a first. But like, who cares at that point?
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's move on. The the NFL free agency is starting up this week.
Yep.
Um, so let's see um who we have. Top 10 free agents, top 10 guys
Yep.
that can. Sorry, I'm trying to get this up.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
How do I? How do I get this? How do I get this? Um, hmm, hmm. We might just have to go through these guys then.
All
If
right.
it's not
That's
gonna let
fine.
me share. That's fine though.
That's
Let's
chill.
start off with yeah. Let's start off or let's just start off with Sam Darnold. We can move once I get this all.
Okay.
But
So,
you have him going to the Giants. I have him going to the Seahawks after today's big move. Any opinions on your stance here?
I mean, besides the Giants, I think my Seahawks were definitely my second team I was thinking of. But the reason I say the Giants is mainly due to the fact that I mean the Giants are in need of a quarterback, but at the same time, they're not in a super big like draft position to get a good quarterback. Because by the time it gets to their pick, they're gonna like Sanders and Ward are already gonna be gone. I'm pretty sure. There's no doubt. And then I feel like the Giants. I mean, Sam Darnold's a solid quarterback. You could put him with like because we've seen him with like Justin Jefferson and Addison. Put him with neighbors. He could be like maybe as good as that. And I just think that I feel like the Giants would be a best fit for him.
Yeah, the only reason Seahawks is just because like the Seahawks need to fill that hole unless they want to
Yeah.
just tank, and Sam Darnold fits the bill the best. Like they could sign Sam Darnold to a 2-year contract, maybe like 2 year 85 million, and then draft Jackson Dart, and that'd be perfect. Like you have Jackson Dart learn for a year, and then just see how it goes. Maybe sit him for 2 years and just ride out Sam Darnold, and then when his contract expires, or maybe like a one plus a team option, like that could be all it is as long as the average value is like $40 million. Like he will take that,
Yeah.
unless someone comes out of left field and offers a ton. Like
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks makes a lot of sense, especially if they can add a weapon or two.
I mean, what also I was thinking in mind though is that the Seahawks are probably going to draft a quarterback like Jackson Dart if he's does fall that low. Because I mean not that low, but I know his draft stock's been rising a lot ever since the combine. But that's what I just thought was like that's why I said the Giants over the Seahawks.
Yeah, I could also see them taking like a Jalen Milrow. Like I think they'll take a quarterback in the first 3 rounds. It doesn't make sense with their
Yeah.
quarterback situation right now because the more bodies, the better.
Hmm.
And then Sam Howell's there too, obviously, who is the current quarterback one. So they
Yep.
could just ride it out with him. Moving on to the second quarterback here, we have Justin Fields of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have him going to the Giants. You have him going to the Steelers. The only reason I said the Giants is just because like I just think it makes the most sense. I feel like him and Neighbors would mesh well, and I think the Giants are willing to pay it more money than the Steelers are. That was kind of my thought process on that.
Well, my thought process was kind of like, so I mean, we already know the. I mean, you remember that the Steelers traded a 6 round pick for him,
Hmm.
I mean, a conditional 6 round pick, and I feel like it. I mean, if you're already trading away for, if you're trading for someone, like you should obviously be keeping them, or else you're just wasting draft picks and you're losing like value. So that's what's just what I've had in mind. I mean, also Justin Fields with in his first 6 games, he looks solid. I mean, obviously the offense wasn't like performing as well as it should have been like against the Cowboys, but I feel like after the time he's had under Russ Wilson, like all that mentorship, I'm like I think that he should be ready and he could be ready for his push as a starter and maybe become good again.
Yeah, like I definitely think he'll get a starting role. It just makes sense. Like he played well enough last year to earn that starting right. It
Yeah.
just depends like what team is that is a good fit, whatnot.
Yeah, and I mean also I feel like Justin Fields, he hasn't had any like issues with being benched behind Russell Wilson. I feel
Mhm.
like he's definitely ready to accept. And I think he's definitely ready to become the next leader of the offense. And I feel like he's also been really good because in his first like 6 games, him in the red zone have been like best friends. Every single time, just read option, rush into the end zone. He's been really good. And the offense has been productive. As opposed to like Russell Wilson, where like we'd always like lose and have to kick field goals on 4th and goal or like throw interceptions on 4th and goal. So I feel like that's where like Justin Fields like rises.
Yeah, the third guy. Now we're kind of getting to the bridge quarterback zone. But
Mm-hmm.
Jameis Winston obviously played fine with the Browns. Fun to watch, but in terms of actual stats and production, just okay. I have him going to the Jets. You have him going right back to the Browns. I think Browns makes total sense. Like, who is their quarterback next year? No clue.
Yeah.
Could be Kirk Cousins. It could be Jacoby Brissett. Like, it could legitimately be anyone. The Jets for me makes the most sense though, just because like it just feels like a situation that he would go to. I feel like he and Aaron Glenn, the new Jets head coach, would mesh.
Yeah.
And then him and Garrett Wilson could be a decent duo. Like obviously the Jets are not going to contend a ton next year, so getting someone who they can have for 1 year, let Jordan Travis get some snaps as well. Like that could be good for him.
Yeah, I mean the reason why I said the Browns is mainly because like what you said too, because we heard that Deshaun Watson will likely miss the next season. So the reason why I just said the Browns is because I mean we saw him with the Browns. He wasn't. I mean, of course he like hasn't been super good like Sam Darnold good, but he's been decent enough to be like a decent starting quarterback.
Yeah. And then Russell Wilson finishing out the quarterbacks. We have Justin Fields flopped. I have him to the
Yeah.
Steelers. You have him to the Giants. I think it's kind of similar. Just like I just don't think the Steelers are gonna get a better option than Russ. He was totally fine. Their goal is to win 9 games every season,
Nope.
and he's gonna do that for
Nope.
them. So I think it makes the most sense. And I don't think
I
they're
don't
gonna
want.
pay Fields enough.
I don't want Russell Wilson. I don't want to see that man ever again in my franchise. If I see that man ever again, I'm gonna do a lot of things.
What
I don't ever want to see his face ever again. I don't want ever to come back.
what's the thought process between Sam Darnold and Russell Wilson, both the Giants?
Well, okay, so
Is that something?
I was actually gonna back that. I was actually gonna back it up. So if I was thinking that if Sam Darnold were to go somewhere to like the Seahawks, then Russell Wilson would be their second option. That's what I was having
Okay,
in
that's
mind.
fair.
Yeah.
And then going into the running backs, we got two, Najee Harris and J.K. Dobbins. Starting off with Najee Harris, you have him going to the Broncos. I have him to the Patriots. You want to say anything about that?
I feel like just having Najee Harris. I mean, the reason why I said the Broncos because I feel like he's like a slightly upgrade to Javonte Williams. And I don't know. I
Whoa,
feel like the
whoa.
Broncos.
Sorry, Jaleel McLaughlin. Are we gonna the best running back in the league? Are we gonna dog on him that much?
I mean, I also just want to say that Najee Harris looks. Whenever I see him run the football, it just looks so uninspiring. Like it feels like I'm watching like a 350 pound man just run the football. It's just so uninspiring. And I feel like the Broncos are a type of team who want that. They definitely want that. I feel like
Does
they're
feel
a
like a
team.
Sean Payton guy. I think
Yeah,
that can make
yeah,
sense. The Patriots thought process was just like Ramondre Stevenson ain't it. I know they signed him to
yeah,
like a contract extension, but he ain't good enough. He can be a passing downs guy. They can let Antonio Gibson walk, and then Najee can be like the workhorse, and Ramondre can be the third down back. Like I feel like that can make sense. And that Ramondre's, I don't think he should go into next year being the RB1.
yeah.
And then J.K. Dobbins, I have him back to the Chargers. You have him to the Cowboys. I guess that would mean the Cowboys don't take a running back, or maybe they do it in round 2 or 3. I just think that he was fine. He was good enough with the Chargers where he deserves another chance.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I said the Cowboys is because I saw this post that they're not interested in taking a running back in the first round, which obviously means Ashton Jeanty's off the board for them. Either they're not as a priority. I mean, I could see definitely because we also know that Gus Edwards got released, so I could see J.K. Dobbins returning. If J.K. Dobbins does return to the Chargers, I could see Gus Edwards coming to the Cowboys. But I feel like the Cowboys would probably just want like a decent running back, and like you said, I feel like they'd probably draft one in like the second or third round, and they could have like a decent backfield, and maybe just get like a few reps for their rookie running back behind like a veteran like J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Gus Edwards is better than Rico Dowdle, but
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
All right.
And then to the wide receivers we go, Chris Godwin and Devonte Adams. These are interesting. Like I feel like there's a ton of teams that could go after both of them.
I
Um,
thought, yeah, I
yeah,
thought I
for
had Patriots for him.
Oh, did I switch? I
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
switched
yeah.
that.
I mean,
Yep.
it's chill, it's chill.
Um,
Um,
but so Chris Godwin, you have him going to the Patriots. I have him going to the
yep.
Raiders. What was your thought process around the Patriots?
I mean, Drake May's obviously been good. I mean, I feel like don't the Patriots have a lot of cap space?
Yeah, they got the
Yeah,
most
they
money.
definitely do this. So I mean, Chris Godwin, he's definitely gonna want a lot of money. Ever like ever since that this season, before his injury, he's shown he can be an elite like wide receiver. He can do things on his own without like Evans. And I think that he's definitely gonna want a team that will pay him like the most money possible. And I feel like the Raiders definitely fit him. And I mean, even if he wants to have a good career too, he has a good like young offense with like Drake May. I mean, like maybe Najee Harris if he joins. And I just think that it would be a good fit.
Yeah, and I think kind of similar for the Raiders. They just need more weapons. They need a wide receiver 1/2. Like him and Jacoby
Hmm.
Myers and Brock Bowers. That's a good trio. They could draft Ashton Genty in the first round, and all of a sudden you're thinking of that as a pretty decent offense. So that was kind of my idea. Now on Devonte Adams, you can go so many directions in this. You had him going to the Titans, aka the wide receiver retirement home. I had
Yeah.
him the reunion back to the Packers, which would be crazy, but I think it makes sense. You want to start off though with the Titans.
I mean, I think you just summed it up right there. The Titans are the wide receiver retirement home. We could go on. We can go DeAndre Hopkins.
Julio
We could go
Jones.
Julio Jones. Exactly. We could go. Who else could we go? We could go a lot of many other
Dion,
players.
or you said Diop, yeah.
Yeah, but whenever I see Devonte Adams, I just see DeAndre Hopkins right now. Like he's just going. I don't know. I feel like Devonte Adams hasn't been that good this season. I mean, obviously it's not entirely his fault, but I just think that his career is it's coming to an end, and I feel like he's just why not just come to the retirement home? I mean, why not?
Kind of a similar process for me. It was like, you only have maybe 2 or 3 more years left in your career. Why not just go back to where you had the best years of your career? Um, I don't remember if he has a good relationship with the coach. He might not, which is rough, but
Yeah,
like Packers need a wide receiver one. They could also trade for DK. Like imagine Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Jaden Reed, wide receiver trio with Josh Jacobs, and then that's an elite offense. And
yeah.
then the defense really good as well. So like that could totally happen. Titans make sense. There's a ton of teams that could go out. Patriots again, Raiders obviously. Never, not Raiders, not
Yeah.
Raiders.
Well, actually, I was thinking Devonte Adams could go to the Raiders.
It's just weird because he just got traded for them. But like,
I
it's
mean, he
not the
could.
worst. It makes sense, but like also like he just was on that team, so that's the
I
only
mean, I
reason
could
again.
see it. I could honestly see it happening. I don't find anything
It
wrong
would
with
be
it.
weird though. Like play half season with the Jets and just go right back to your team.
I mean that's good for the Raiders though, because they gained like a few picks just for Devonte Adams to come back.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wouldn't see why. And
And
also, I
tank.
mean, I know Devonte also wants to like he loves Las Vegas too. I mean,
Hmm.
I heard he like put like plan to like retire there if he didn't get traded to the
Yeah,
Jets. So I mean, like, why not?
yeah, I can see that. And then finishing off with the top tight end, Evan Ingram just got released yesterday. I have him to the Commanders. You have him to the Bears. The only reason I said Commanders is just because we haven't brought back Zach Ertz yet. If we bring back Zach Ertz, he's gonna be our tight end one. We have Ben Sinnott. We'll be fine on that front. But I think why not add another weapon? Ingram's obviously an upgrade over Ertz. And that can after that we're good. Maybe draft a wide receiver or a rookie running back and wide receiver. After that, they're like I feel good about our offense and where it is at.
Yeah, I mean the reason why I said the Bears is because what's the Bears tight end name?
Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet, that's his name. He has, I mean, he hasn't been spectacular this season, and I feel like the obviously with what's the head coach? Oh, Ben Johnson
Yeah.
as the new head coach, he's been like going all in. Especially we've seen with like the offensive line. We've seen him. He's already traded for like Joe Thuney already.
Yeah.
And he also the one from the Rams. And I feel like the Bears would make a lot of sense here because Ben Johnson, he's obviously like an offensive like mastermind, and I feel like Evan Ingram could fit them a lot, especially with like DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, and I mean like they're probably gonna get like a running back or something if they don't like if Swift isn't good. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, talking about the Bears for a sec, I just want to focus on DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is a top five wide receiver this
yeah,
year. Like he's going to have a career year this year, because of what Ben Johnson does and because Caleb's going to take that step forward. Like he was the 16th best fantasy wide receiver last year, in what people thought was a really bad year. Like if that was his floor, like he's going to be incredible this year.
yeah. And I feel like also, I mean, the only thing that's gonna stop him is injuries, of course. But if injuries don't derail his season, then he can definitely be like he's easily top 10. Like probably if he keeps going at a good rate, easily top
Yeah,
five.
I like the like he's like Terry McLaurin this year. Like I feel like it's a very similar
Yeah,
situation
exactly. That's what
with
I
like
was
a
gonna say
young
too.
quarterback and just like and make like feed him the ball. Like Keenan Allen's gonna be gone, Roma Dunze's gonna be there, but like a new head coach, and it makes total sense that he could have a career.
Yep, and I feel like I mean, Caleb Williams, I don't understand all the hate for Caleb Williams. I thought he was honestly a solid quarterback. It's just his O-line that was the issue.
Mhm.
So I feel like Caleb Williams, if he does get the proper help, if he does get the right coaching, he could easily be like maybe in like the Jane Daniels conversation.
If you're redrafting the draft for real quick, are you taking Jaden Daniels one, or are you still keeping Caleb Williams?
I mean, I feel like it's too early, but I feel like I would probably still keep Caleb Williams. I mean, we've seen like glimpses of how good he can be. Like even with that Bears terrible offensive line and like I mean, like Keenan Allen's been like kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take Jaden Daniels just because of playoff success.
Yeah, of
Like he's
course.
proven that he can win games, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
a totally different conversation for another.
I mean,
Uh,
we can talk about this conversation in 3 more years.
yeah, and then it could be a totally different conversation. Drake May,
Yeah.
who knows? Bo Nix, who knows? Penix,
Yeah.
who knows?
Spencer Rattler, who knows?
Yep, exactly. One other guy I left off was Aaron Rodgers. I don't really have any idea where he could go. I haven't thought of any good landing spots. The Raiders would have made some sense, but obviously that's off the board at this point. Steelers, who knows? Like, there's no like great team fit. But I do think he gets a job, and I do think he'll play next year.
Well, kind of what I was thinking, like the best fit for him is like the local retirement home. That's kind of how I was thinking was the best fit for
As a
him.
Steelers fan, would you rather have Russ or Aaron Rodgers?
Russ,
Okay.
I would I would kill myself if I had Aaron
I feel
Rodgers.
like you don't. He's still like a good
No,
quarterback.
he's
Like
not. He's
he was
not a
like
good
he had like a
quarterback.
Geno Smith level quarterback last
He
year.
let Beanie Bishop get 2 interceptions. Well, one of them wasn't his fault, but one of them was definitely his fault.
That's only one. That's not bad. Like I
That's
still
so
think he has
bad.
something left in the tank. Although Devontae Adams ain't going to be a Steeler.
No,
So
he's 40 though. That's like really, really old. He's getting
well,
like
Russell Wilson's like 35 or
I
something.
know, but like Aaron Rodgers is no Tom Brady. He can't like
I
Tom
don't know
Brady's
about that.
impressive. Tom
Hey,
Brady's impressive for what he did at like
prime Aaron
40
Rodgers
something.
was as good as Tom Brady. So
Yeah,
let's
I
not
guess.
take anything away from him.
But yeah.
I believe it's like 5 days away. So by next week's
Yep.
episode, we will know a lot of these guys' landings. Drop in the comment who you like better. Whose list do you like better, me or Donnie's? Whose could be more accurate?
It's me.
I don't know about that.
I'm better.
You got a game, Donnie? You want to take this away?
Yep. So, Ben, he has a lot of basketball knowledge, and he likes to play this little game called Larry Birdle, where you basically have to guess the silhouette of this NBA player. So I'm gonna try to like replicate that. I'm gonna give Ben a bunch of NBA players silhouettes from this season, and I'm gonna see if how many he can get. There are 10. If he gets five, if he gets six or above, he wins the game. If he gets five to like zero, then well, if he gets five, we'll decide what to do. But if he gets four or below, obviously he loses.
Let's
So
get this going.
yep, let me find what's fine. Let's see. Okay, okay,
Oh wow, we have all of them at once. Do I have
yep.
to go one by one here?
I would start. Okay, let's. I would go
Okay, can I just I
left to
got one
right,
right off the
row by
bat.
row.
So the third one is Buddy Heald.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. Um, below him, I have a guess, but I don't know if I wanna say it. Okay, to the right, the middle right, that's Al Horford.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's correct. That's two.
Okay, that's two. Can you like draw? Can you put a check mark or something so I
Yeah,
know?
I'll put an X.
Okay, so we have two. Who is that bottom left guy? I want to say middle left, like the middle row left is Karis LeVert, but I think he has a longer
This one?
neck. No, to his left. I don't think that's
This
right.
one?
I'm not gonna lock that in.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh,
Actually, wait.
top row second to the left. That's Kel Oubre.
This one?
Yeah.
You want to lock that in?
Yep.
That is incorrect.
Whoa. Okay. That's one wrong. Can I lock in middle row the third one to like under Buddy Hield?
Yeah.
I don't even know if you know who this guy is. So, is it
I
like is it Western Conference?
I don't know. Is it?
I'm gonna. It looks like Tumani Kamara, so I'll lock that in.
That is incorrect.
That felt really good though.
Do you want me to tell you who these two were?
Yeah.
So this one is Marvin Bagley.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And then this one I thought you were gonna get. I thought this was the easiest one. It was Bilal
Oh,
Koulibaly.
that's so insane. It
I
does look
thought you
like
were gonna.
they both have the same hair, so.
I thought you were gonna. I thought that was the easiest one in my opinion.
Okay, so top left is confusing me. I mean I'm guessing he's white. Just basing off what the neck looks like. Just and the hair maybe. No idea who it could be though. Top right looks like De'Aaron Fox, but I don't think that's what his face looks like, so bottom left looks like Rajon Rondo, but that's
This
obviously
one?
not that's obviously not it.
I mean, you're
Bottom
two
right
for
just
two.
got nothing on that.
This is not looking good for you.
Um, ooh, can I top left? I don't even think you know who that is. So I'm gonna come back to that.
Okay.
The only thought I have for top left is Tyler Kolek, but I don't think that's at all right.
This one?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lock it in.
Okay.
Not locking in.
Okay.
2 for 4. Do I have anything?
I'm gonna give you four. I'm gonna give you 5 more minutes
Okay, okay.
or 4 more minutes.
Hmm.
I gotta think.
I gotta go one by one.
I'm telling you, it's not
Top
easy.
right.
You okay? I know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think you're getting this one. I would be.
No, that
I would be
he has he
shocked
has
if you
he
get
has
this.
like dreads or like cornrows or
If
something.
you, I would be
I can see like
shocked.
he has some hair coming down.
I would
There's
be
something
shocked if
there.
you get this right. I would be shocked if you get this right.
I'll lock top right in De'Aaron Fox. That's not right.
This one?
But yeah,
That's
that's the
incorrect.
only bald guy I got. So.
I mean, you had the right team. It's Keldon
Oh,
Johnson.
I didn't realize he had it looking like that. He has
Yeah.
no hair really, or like he has
Hmm.
very little, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Top left is a definitely a white guy. There's no chance that's not white. That dude's definitely white. No idea who it is though. The one that you said is impossible. It's not Lugens Dort. It's not Dort, but it's like someone with that kind of hair. Oh, is bottom right? Is that? It's gonna be wrong again. Is it DeAndre Hunter?
You want to lock that in?
Yeah,
That is incorrect.
we are
It
we are
is.
struggling.
It is Bryce Sensabaugh.
Oh, we went hard. Okay. Oh wow.
I told you it was hard.
Okay, so maybe top left could be Tyler Kolek if you're putting Bryce Sensible on this list.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to
Ooh.
hear any disrespect on Sensabaugh.
No, he's been balling, but I
I
did not
know.
know. I didn't think you knew who that was.
No, I do.
Did you just learn of him like 10 minutes
No,
ago?
I learned of him like 2 weeks ago.
So top left, it's like small white guards. It's definitely gonna be black, and it's just gonna be some surprise that he's gotta be white. I'll just lock in Tyler Kolek. You better be white.
You're not even remotely
Is
close. Do you
it
want me to tell
black?
you? It's Yuki Kawamura.
At
You're not even
least he wasn't
remotely
black.
close. He's not even. Yeah, you kept on saying it's. He's definitely white.
He
It
does
wasn't
look
even the
kind of
right race.
okay. Is the bottom row? Is that Tristan Thompson?
This one?
Yeah,
I don't even think he's in the league.
yeah, he's on the Cavs.
Oh well, that's
I feel like that's a
incorrect.
Cav. It might be Evan Mobley or something.
Nope, it's Terry Rozier.
Really? I thought he had a
Yeah.
smaller face.
Nope, that is that.
Gee,
No. I feel like Al Horford and Terry Rozier look really like
Al Horford.
noticeable.
That yeah,
This is not good for you, Ben. You
this
said that
is
you
really
already
bad.
lost. I mean, you already
Okay,
lost.
so the left guy looks really like Harris LeVert. I'm just gonna
This
lock it
one,
in. Why not?
it's Nick Richards.
Dang it! I
This is
thought he had
not
different
looking good.
hair. He really is wearing dread. He's doing
Yeah, he
dread.
has dreads. He has
Dang.
dreads.
I thought he was like puffy.
Nope. Well, that was his old photo from last year.
No, okay. No, just nothing on this. I mean, he
Nothing.
has like some like ponytail thing going on back there. Is it like no, it's not Rob Dillingham. Is it like I gotta zoom in. Is it Cody Williams or something? That's my guess.
That is incorrect. It is
Yeah.
Yuri Collins.
You don't even know who that is.
No, I do. He's on the
Who's
Warriors.
your
He wears number 99 on the Warriors. He was just signed on a 10-day contract. I thought you would know this stuff.
yeah, but I have no idea what his headshot looks like.
Oh, see, I told you this was
Only
hard.
10 out of 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. I thought you said this was
Wait, so
easy.
who was? Can you go through them again?
Yeah. Okay. So Yuki Kawamura,
Bagley,
Marvin Bagley,
Buddy Hield,
Healed, Keldon
Keldon.
Johnson,
Who is
Nick
that?
Richards,
Oh yeah,
Nick
yeah.
Richards, Yuri Collins, Bilal Koulibaly, Al Horford, Terry Rozier, and
Bryson.
finally, and then yeah,
Tough one. Hey, we'll be
Hmm.
back next week, and I'll get it.
Yeah, that was a rough day for you. I thought
Rough
that was gonna
showing.
be I thought that was gonna be light work for you.
Yeah, bad day. Bad day.
Yeah.
Give me a new 10, and I'll grind during the week.
All right.
That'll do it for this week's episode. Next week, March Madness season. We won't be
Yep.
a normal episode because Selection Sunday's on Sunday. So we're
Hmm.
gonna have to either put up on Sunday night or Monday morning, something, just
Yep.
so we can get our bracket going out to you guys before the tournament starts on Wednesday. Um, so yeah, that'll do it for this one. Free agency will be next week for the NFL. But before then, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe on Instagram, follow TikTok, YouTube, wherever you're watching this video on. But for me and Donnie, that's about it. Anything else to
Yep.
add?
If we get to 200 followers on Instagram at nzone or n underscore zone boys, I will listen to the most requested song on IG Live for 200 minutes. And that's all I have to say.
It's a tough one. Have
Mhm.
fun with that. We are getting
Yep.
closer and closer by the week.
No, we're not.
We'll make it. We'll make it. It's
We'll make it
inevitable to
eventually.
happen.
It's inevitable. That's true.
But thank you for me and Donnie. See y'all next week.
Peace.